Hey YouTube land, Tycanders there, coming back with another action figure review. Well, not so much action figure this time, but more action figure playset review. And this is the third of the Batman Classic, if I just bring up my camera a bit. The retro Batman Classic TV series sets from McFarlane. So they've done two previously, which was the Batcave and the Villain's Lair. And now we're getting the Wayne Manor library set. So as you can see, it is slightly different to previous sets. So if I just bring in the Batcave set here, and you see the older sets, both of them, both Batcave and the Villain's Lair, actually had a window box packaging, whereas this is a complete enclosed box packaging. So just be wary of that. Especially if you're buying it from, like, you know, if you see it on shelves in Walmart or Target or someplace like that, where it is common for people to swap out stuff, just be wary that you could end up with a swap out of parts. So I got this from Heroes and Villains from my buddy Jay. He ordered this in, and the other thing that I will be doing a review of, which is the Batboat from the 1966. Is it 66? It's the 60s movie, the Batman made for TV Batman movie. But this is the box that this comes in. So on the front, you can just see it says figures not included, Wayne Manor Library, showcases what you get. There's an image of the unmasked Bruce Wayne Batman head on the side. And then flipping around to the back of the box, you get a display of the contents without figures, and then a bit of imagery. Now, there is assembly required on this. So when I bring it in, I'll show you what parts need to be assembled and what parts were okay. So without further ado, we'll bring in the playset. Hopefully this area I have set up is big enough for it. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, it is, just like the other ones, quite a large set. So let me get each part for the box. There is some assembly required, majority of which is this whole section that where the bat poles are is actually a separate piece. Once it's clicked in, I haven't been able to click it out. This candelabra or chandelier thing on the wall up here is a separate piece. The fireplace is actually a separate piece. You can see how it actually sticks out further than the playset. So the fireplace is actually a separate piece within the box, that is. So I'm not sure if I can get it all into shot here. It's quite big. So you do get, just as with the Batcave and with the Villain's Lair, you get loose components. So one of the loose components is this chest of drawers, or this kind of cabinet. You get a lamp that goes on it. You get a globe. At least in the TV series, it was one of those decanter globes, I'm sure. Or at least it looked like one, you know, the one that opened up and there's like a drinks cabinet in it. But you have one of those. And then you get the main table. You get the bust. You get the bat... Whoop, if I can get it without dropping it. The bat phone. And you get a chair. So for the table, and with the chest of, or the cabinety thing here, it's hollow on the back. The actual, this table is actually slightly a little bit less hollow. It is hollow underneath, but it's not kind of empty on the back, which is a nice touch. Usually they are. The chair is also hollow on the back, which is a little bit disappointing. It kind of would have been nice if it was a full enclosed chair. So if you had it at the side, you don't see the gap on it. In fact, if I move it that way, you can see the gap on it. I'm just going to adjust my camera a small bit because it is a little bit high. Bear with me a moment. Hopefully you'll be able to see all the parts. Yes, I have some stuff set up as well. So if you have the lamp and that, you can bring in the Caped Crusaders, or the Dynamic Duo. So these are the McFarlane versions. Let me just get it in a more natural standing pose. These feet are a little bit well, I think it's this review station area is a little bit small, so you do get a nice display option for your Batman figure and Robin. I do hope going forward that because there was an unmasked Bruce Wayne Adam West head, that we might actually get a Bruce Wayne figure, which is something I don't think either the Mattel Classics did or any of the other figures. They have never done kind of a Bruce Wayne alter ego, just the Batman persona or an unmasked, uncowled Batman head. I don't think they've done a full Bruce in a suit or anything like that. Same goes for Burt Ward or Robin, Dick Grayson. I don't think they've done they have an unmasked version of the head, but they don't have a full, just Robin civilian clothes style. Would be nice to go with this set. And on top of that, would be really nice, would be an Alfred as well. Now, the only thing with the Alfred figure, there is actually one out there that Mattel made a while back, and that was with, I think it was their DC Direct, or DC, it was a DC line anyway that Mattel did. It was actually a kind of generic Alfred figure. It was done in 7-inch scale, if I remember correctly, and it came with a bunch of alternate heads. So it came with not only the 60s Alfred, it also came with the 89 Burton verse Alfred head as well. So you could actually mix and match which Alfred you wanted to have as the figures, or with your figures, which is kind of nice. Batman should be able to sit in the chair reasonably well. If you get him into a seated position, just fold up his cowl underneath, so he can't actually sit in the chair. The one thing that is a little bit disappointing, even though it looks like it's a separate piece, is the bat phone. I really would have loved if they could have gotten an actual small elastic or something for the bat phone, so you could actually have them holding the phone, the receiver, up to their head. And then the bust is actually quite cool, because the bust actually does exactly what it did in the TV show, where it kind of flips back and there's the button in there. I think the button was actually painted red in the show, but you can have Batman. I know it's kind of pointless having him in his costume in Wayne Manor when he was actually just Bruce Wayne, so you can have the door slide open. So there is actually a tab on the back of this that you can actually slide the door with, but you can just use your hand as well. So you can have the two of them rushing to the Batcave, which again would make more sense if it was actually Bruce and Dick as opposed to Batman and Robin. But you can have them pressing the button to reveal the poles for the Batcave, and then if you have the Batcave set, you could probably make some sort of large diorama where the poles for that lined up with the poles for the Batcave, and have a kind of a double setup, and have the Batcave kind of centered underneath it, and have the Batmobile and all that in there. It is a really cool set, and even if you're not a fan of this Batman series, there is a nice touch with the law school Bruce Wayne diploma as well on the side, and then there's a couple of paintings on the back in the wallpaper. All the stuff like the bookcases, all the kind of stuff on the actual backdrop is all stickers, with the exception of this fish up here. It's kind of done in it looks like one of those singing bass trouts. In fact, you can't see it where I'm pointing, but up here this thing looks like one of those singing sea bass type things like you see in like novelty shops. It is a kind of comedic, but nearly everything on this is stickers except for the sculpting of the timber. That's the only thing that is different. So if you have other figures that you'd like to use with this set, I'm going to bring in one. I'm going to bring in an accessory, which is an old accessory. Well, not an old accessory, but it's something you could probably get away with. So you could have, hopefully this works. I haven't actually tried it yet. He should be able to work it, but I know his waist is a little bit awkward. So if you wanted to, you could have the Amber Collection John Hammond sitting working out where things are going on his island that he bought in his what is it, in his was it library, if you want to call it, Or alternatively, you could get other figures that would be in the 6-inch scale, which I'm trying to see if I have any close at hand. Pretty much like the G.I. Joe classified stuff. In fact, you could probably get away with using Star Wars figures, but that would just look awkward because the setting wouldn't be right. But if you wanted something a bit more classic, bear with me a moment. I need to take off one of his accessories because I know it will get in the way. So just move him out of the way. I'll just get his leg into a seated position. Yes, I have him handy. I have classified Destro. Oop, with his suitcase and his bag of money, and just throw his sunglasses on so I don't lose them. Again, I only found them recently, but you can have classified, G.I. Joe classified figures working in the studio or in the study as well. So, or office. You could use it as an office backdrop or a study backdrop or as a library. So there is options. If you don't want to use it primarily as a Batman 66 setup, you could use it for alternate things. So it is quite nice. I just give a sort of scale. So I don't think I did this with the other sets. The height of this thing, if I bring up my thing, my camera, is just under 11 inches. And depending on how you have it laid out, I'm going to do it off screen because I can't fit the whole lot in screen, I don't think. Let me just move some of these things out of the way. You know, stuff is going to go flying all over the place. So if you have this fully extended, and I'll use it from the tip of the fireplace, from the fireplace all the way to the edge is about 26 inches if you have it fully folded out. The thing about these is they have hinges so that you can kind of compress it a little bit, which is a little bit nicer. So if you have a smaller display area, you should be able to get into most. The main kind of section of this, like the biggest wall without the folding area, is about 11 inches. So you have that as well just to consider. But it is a very nicely sculpted piece. I will give them props for that, and the little bit of accessories you get with it are quite nice. As you can see, you can kind of gussy them up if you have other accessories. This was the computer that came with the Ray Arnold figure from Jurassic, the Amber Collection Ray Arnold figure. So you do, like, if you have other accessories that would be in scale, you can get away with that. So all in all, it's a really good set. I do recommend picking it up. It should be available now at various places, but I will throw a link in the description below to Heroes and Villains. If Jay can get more of them in for people, you might want to drop him a message and see if you can get more of them. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review for the Wayne Manor. I'll just bring it back in Batman and Robin because they are the main stars of the show and not Destro here. But if you have the Batman and Robin Wayne Manor library set with the hidden kind of compartment for the back poles, which is quite a cool set. So all in all, nice set. Do recommend picking it up, and it does kind of complete that whole Batman Batcave transition thing. So if you want to do that, you can do that. And it's also a nice playset for, or diorama set for other scales, or not other scale, but other figures in the 6-inch scale as well. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video review, and as always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.